Chapter 1. The Protector. Jonathan woke to find himself strapped onto the back of a large deer. It was weaving its way at a walk through the woods. The light shifted from hues of yellow, blue, and purple, washing over them as they passed by the bioluminescent fungi. Scared and confused, he started a struggle against the vines that held him, gasping and grunting in his panic. "Ah, you are awake. Good. What's going on? Where are you taking me? Where are we? Calm yourself. I understand your confusion. I can only answer so much as it is important that I do not disclose too much. Why? For the safety of both our races. Can you tell me where we're going at least? It wouldn't hurt, I guess. Your presence here leads to many troubling questions that answers may lead to many problems for both of our peoples. This is far above me as it is a matter of the security of our entire nation, so I must take you to the nearest authority to sort this out. What authority is that? You will see soon enough." A clearing began to open in the trees. In the clearing was a gathering of around 40 buildings. They were built in medieval style, wooden buildings with thatched roofs. Most were one-story buildings. Small dwellings, shops, and storehouses from the look of them. Some had signs depicting their trades on them. It seemed to be midday and the people going about their day stopped to look at the new arrivals, confused by the bound boy. Whispers began as they passed by. A sect began to call out greetings to the villagers, who responded but never took their eyes from Jonathan. Jonathan couldn't help staring back as slitted pupils watched him. Some of the pupils were slitted like cats, going vertically, while others were slitted horizontally like a goat's. A house came up ahead. The thatched roof was yellow, its walls grass green, but its door and window was a light red color. Before they reached the house, a door opened to reveal its occupants. One was a woman who looked to be in her late 20s. Jonathan took note that her pupils were round. The other was not human, but seemed to be a sentient cloth doll. The cloth of the doll was a dark brown color. It wore a red coat with black cuffs. Its black dress shirt was held together by red buttons. Its head was adorned with a black top hat, a length of rope holding a gray skull emblem in place. Its black pants striped with thin, red vertical lines at intervals seemed to be stitched into the legs. The pants went around the stubs of its legs, the tip unembellished by the red lines. Its facial features were stitched with rope, a dotted line for a mouth and 2 X's for eyes. "Dialrening Tiophir," a sect said. "Ik wegden of reiv sitensek." The vines around Jonathan released. Unprepared, he fell to the ground. "Oh, sorry about that." He turned back into his human form and lifted Jonathan to his feet. Returning his attention to the cloth doll being, he bowed his head, sweeping his left arm as he did so. "Relax a sec. You do not have to bow. I do not dwell on ceremony." "Of course. Where has the Earthlander come from? Did you bring him through the bridge?" "No, Tiophir. This is why I came to you. He came through unassisted." The cloth doll paused in thought. "What is your name, child?" "Jonathan Moen." "Moen? Well met. I am Durin Saratgessen, Tiophir of Tiophianiar and the Tiophianian people. My job is to ensure the safety of my country and its people. You may call me Durin or Tiophir." Jonathan's brow wrinkled in confusion as he tried to process everything happening. "Nice to meet you, Durin. I apologize for the inconvenience you may have been through. I am sure you will be eager to get back to your uncle and let him know you are safe." "How did you know I was staying with my uncle?" "I will explain it all in good time. I must first ask you some questions as to how you arrived here. Your arrival is peculiar and worrying. Please follow me. Asek, I thank you for your dutiful nature. You may return home at your leisure." Asek bowed his head. "Good day to you, Tiophir." With that, Asek turned into a hawk and flew away. Durin beckoned for Jonathan to follow as he and the woman went back inside the house. The inside was simple. A spacious living room held a round oak table with a matching set of chairs. A round red carpet was underneath the set. Pushed against the wall was a couch, again red. 2 doors led off to the other rooms, while an opening led to a small kitchen. Even the light in the room was a red from the stained window, and a chandelier held red candles that gave off a red flame. Durin picked up a small red crystal from the table and held it in his hand. After a moment's hesitation, the inside of the crystal began to glow with a swirling yellow light. The coloration of all the aforementioned red objects turned a dandelion yellow, brightening the room around him. The woman left the room, headed for the kitchen. The Tiophir sat in a chair by the table, gesturing for Jonathan to do likewise. Jonathan sat down at the edge of the chair, his confusion and fear growing as he tried to comprehend what kind of dreamscape he had woken up in. "Relax, Jonathan. We have no wish to do you harm, though I am sure you have as many questions for me as I you." Jonathan nodded his head. "As a show of good faith, I shall allow you to ask me a few questions to calm your mind. Then I must ask you mine to determine the security of our homeland." "Okay, where exactly am I? Is this Earth or someplace else?" "You are in Kurasek, a small town in the Tiophianiar nation. Our world is a linear copy of yours, but where an extinction caused the end of what you call the dinosaurs, we were not so fortunate. To defend ourselves, 5 powerful sorcerers created a barrier to protect our people from sure destruction." Jonathan, encouraged by the Tiophir's thorough answer, continued, "How was that man able to transform into animals? And I'm sorry if this comes out rude, but why are you a doll?" The expression on the doll's face was unchanging, but the stitched smile on his face seemed to be appropriate. "We did not have the room to grow technology as your people did, so over the years we developed the ability to perform what you would know as magic. This includes morphing into other forms. As for my appearance, I was trapped within this form long ago. Now I must ask you some questions. How did you come here?" "I don't know. I was with my cousin when we jumped into a pond deep in the woods. I came out to find myself here. My cousin was gone, though." "Was anyone else with you?" "No, it was just us. The only living thing there was a deer." "Did you notice anything odd?" "Well, the trees grew really close together." "Yes, we caused them to grow that way to mask our activities. You are sure you saw naught else?" Jonathan shook his head. "A curious anomaly. I must look into this. In the meantime, I shall send you home, but I must ask you to return that I may look into this. Magnus will be expecting you home. I will send him a message to let him know you are safe." "How do you know my uncle?" "He once aided me when the fate of my people depended on it. The Tiophianiar owe him a great debt." The woman returned from the kitchen. She carried a platter with a tray of toast and 2 small jars. "Pardon my manners. Jonathan, this is my wife, Anai, Jonathan Moen." Anai smiled warmly. "You must be hungry. Would you like something to eat?" "I would, thank you." As Jonathan began to spread jelly across his toast, Durin took a large disc-shaped rock from his pocket and walked into another room. Closing the door behind him, he lifted the stone to eye level. Glyphs on the stone began to glow as he concentrated. "Magnus, my friend, your nephew is safe here with me, and I shall send him back to you soon. He has found his way through the bridge into Tiophiniar. By his description, it seems he entered unaided, meaning he must hold within him a natural well of mana. Unguided, such power could be destructive. For his safety and our security, I say it is necessary that I take him on as an apprentice. I will let you have the final say in this, but please consider the consequences on both sides. Durin." The message hung above the stone, glowing with a dark yellow light. Then it faded away.